everyone, and welcome to Chillin' with Millen. Today I have a old friend with me on Chillin' with Millen. I met him when I first started Microsoft. We got a chance to reconnect. Please welcome Jason Falter. Jason, could you tell us what you do for Microsoft?
Hey, thanks. Appreciate you having me, Millen. For Microsoft, I'm a senior project manager in our consulting business, specifically supporting U.S. public sector customers. So I basically help things get done for the customer. We sign up for deals. We're deploying various solutions, moving people to the cloud, and
Awesome.
help get the resourcing, staffing, make sure we're on schedule, all that kind of good stuff.
Oh yeah, I used to be a project manager for 10 years, so I love it. I have a special place in my heart for project managers, so we appreciate you doing this. We like to start these out with a fun and unique fact. So can you give us one about yourself?
Ooh, fun and unique fact. I'm a 49ers fan in Seahawks territory. That's interesting.
That's awesome. Well, hopefully people that see this in Seattle won't come knocking at your door, right? So
Yeah, we're not recording where I live, right?
right. Awesome, Jason. Well, will you go ahead and share your screen and show us how you use Teams to achieve more?
Absolutely.
All right.
So yeah, so let me actually look into for those internal to Microsoft, we actually have a group called Delivery Excellence that sets these teams up for us. So when we sign up for a deal with the customer, we create these collaboration teams, and most of it is internal facing. In some cases, we do share the information with the customer. It depends on the customer relationship that we've agreed to. But so for us, some of the legwork's already done, which is great. Each team kind of has these 3 default channels. We can certainly add to those if we need to. Since we're on the project management channel, we'll go ahead and start there. So some of these we won't necessarily click into because they do have some sensitive information, but you have your generic posts, files, wiki, but then specifically we have a website called Virtuoso, which is, as a project manager, it's where I go check in my project health status, reports back to the business on everything from scope, cost, schedule. How are we doing for the customer? Are there any challenges? It's where we track our risks and issues. And it gives the business an idea of just how healthy the engagement is with the customer.
So Jason, just for people watching, so you said that's a website, so they could add any website they want, right? If you go to that + Jason, that's how you did that, right? You went ahead and clicked there, and you just added a website over there, and
Absolutely.
so that's just another way where you didn't have to have multiple windows open. You just dragged it right there into a team.
Right. So before we actually had teams, project managers, we either had to create our own SharePoint site, but even then, it's really more of just a document repository, or we had to have, 500 different bookmarks in your favorite browser to go navigate to these different things.
Yeah, that's a lot to manage. So that's great. So you have it here now. You don't have to open that. What are some other things in this team that you use?
The one cool one is Azure Devops. So we do have one for the customer, but again, it's customer information, so we want to be sensitive about that. This one is one that I've stood up for myself. When we have engagements where we're doing custom application development, so we're actually writing some code for the customers, and if we're following an Agile or Scrum delivery methodology, we'll use Azure Devops. Gives you the opportunity to do all of your sprint planning, define your user stories. In many cases, the customer can get assigned tasks from here as well. So it's great visibility for the entire project team, both the customer and internal to Microsoft. It also follows that kind of self-organization that the Agile and Scrum methodologies subscribe to. So it lets people come in here and move things around as they need to, and just really contributes to overall success.
That's awesome. Very cool. And then obviously, if you're a project manager, you're probably using Project, and you just added that right there as well.
I did. In this particular engagement, we don't have a project, so to speak, because again, we're doing Agile and Scrum. Yeah. So, but it is right there. So if we do have a piece of work that comes up where we're following more of a traditional waterfall method, and Microsoft Project is better to track that, it's right there.
That's perfect. So really, you said it, Jason. You said your organization created these channels for you, and it already had a lot of these things pre-pinned for you. Is that right? Because they knew this is what you use on a day-to-day basis?
Absolutely. And I like that it's not locked down. So if we do have things that we need to add to it, we can. There are some things on here that if for whatever reason we don't feel that there's value for this particular customer engagement, we can take those off. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a, here's a template to start from. Use what you need, add what you need, take away what you don't.
Yeah, and so your before picture, Jason, before you had this, you were having to open these apps separately. I don't know how you were collaborating with the customer, but I'm assuming now that it's all here in the Teams, it's enhanced your collaboration with the customer. Is that a fair assumption?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, collaboration with the customer was typically emails or phone calls.
Yeah.
We all understand emails are very time independent. So if you've got a rush job on something, but it's sitting in somebody's inbox, who knows when they're going to get to it? Chatting with the customer in here, being able to do the mentions, and so it immediately gets visibility. That's really been, I think, a game changer, and not even just with the customer, but the internal team, especially with COVID. We've all gone to pretty much 100% remote delivery, and it's easy to kind of fall back into the shadows when you're not in front of the customer all the time, you're not in front of the team all the time, but you still have to somehow collaborate effectively and deliver.
Yeah.
Teams has definitely helped us do that.
That's really cool, Jason. And it really helped you adopt it because you know that these are tools that you use on a day-to-day basis. So for folks watching, a great way we suggest doing this is interview your project managers, find out how they work, find out the tools that they use, and their IT admin can do something similar and pre-populate their team with these tabs on the top. So great stuff, Jason. So is there anything else you wanted to walk us through with these channels? Because I did notice you had some things pinned to that left navigation as well.
Yeah, so we do have one customer that we're working on where we use Planner,
Mm-hmm.
and the relationship we have on this particular piece of work is, we're doing some SharePoint patches.
Okay.
And there's a systems integrator that we work with. We do some patches, and then we kind of hand things off to them. And so we work collaboratively to create that schedule, and then we use Planner to actually track those aspects of work that we're doing. We recently just integrated it into Teams where when we create a new task for ourselves, it will automatically send a notification to that channel and
Mm-hmm.
let the team know that a new task was created. And we can go in there through Power Automate and that integration and manipulate the data specifically that's pulled from the planner task, and then post it into that channel chat.
That's fantastic. And Jason, just for people listening, they might think, man, that sounds really complicated, but really cool. But I know that if they go to flow.microsoft.com, there's templates that do just that, right? You just have to type in Microsoft Teams and see all those templates that are available, or Planner. Is that how you did it?
Yeah, so I went to Power Automate now.
Yeah.
And yeah, honestly, and it's been so long since I've done anything technical, and I made it through it. So anybody can do it. It really is pretty straightforward once you kind of learn, the triggers and the actions and those types of things. A lot of integration with a lot of our products. So it just takes things that I think you don't think about how much time you spend pointing and clicking at things until you find a way to automate it, or even, like we shared with the tabs within the channel, having everything centrally located so you're not having to pull up all these different windows. It's really made my job as a project manager more efficient.
100%. One of the things that I remember is, maybe I assigned Zane in this example, Zane a few tasks. I'd tap Zane on the shoulder via email or IM, see how he's doing with that task. But a lot of this automates that for you, right? There's reminders. Zane's going to get reminders. There could be flows that you set up. So very cool stuff. Stakeholders are a big part of project management as well, right? You get a list of stakeholders. Sometimes you just don't know who they are. So I noticed you had a cool, you and I were talking about this, but you have a cool Who app there.
So this is, internal to Microsoft. But if there's somebody that, like a architect, or, just a name pops up and it's like, hey, I'm not familiar, working with that person, I can just come over here, who is Jason Falter, if I can spell my name right.
Yeah, you did one with me too. So just it's just a bot, right? That retrieves that data for you.
Yep, that's it.
And I like how it says, who do they work with? Who are their peers? if you wanted to drill deeper. So that's a really cool bot. So Jason, a lot of good stuff here. Thank you for showing us how you centralized your day as a project manager using Teams. Just in closing, for project managers watching, what's like the last thing you would leave them with as they're concluding this video?
Definitely, if you're not already in Teams, get there. Like I said, new deals that we're selling, some of these teams are already set up, but I think my experience is that it's really just the project manager kind of using it and not getting the larger Microsoft team involved, not getting, where appropriate, the customer involved. Our engagements aren't successful if the whole team isn't finding a way to collaborate effectively. And again, especially with COVID right now, it really has helped pull together project teams that are now sitting in their home offices, and they're, if they're lucky enough to have a Starbucks open or something like that. It's really made collaboration much more effective and efficient. Especially, we really weren't sure how things were going to go when everybody had to shut down, and it's almost like we've improved, which is fantastic.
That is fantastic. Jason, thank you so much for chilling with Millen. We appreciate your time.
Hey, appreciate it, Ben. Anytime.
Bye.